Hey everyone, and how's it going? This is Ellington, and here we are back on the battlefield, and we are in the settlement of Alexandria, Aracosia, and we have a kind of a fun thing. This is actually going to be my very first subscriber replay that is coming to me by somebody that I don't like. Most of my replays are either, games that I am involved in or games that people that I play a lot with are involved in. So this is actually going to be my very first replay that I am doing from somebody that is not a normal player of mine or anything like that. And it is coming from Ariovistus, and he is on the defender's side today. But let's go over some armies. So first off, we have got right over here. We've got a lot of kind of a mixture of Egypt and Athens here, but you can see there's about a bunch of Athenians. I did notice as I was as I was looking over this battlefield that they were playing on large unit size instead of ultra. So like infantry is only 120 instead of 160. But Athens is being commanded by Goose, nice and easy. Actually, this is all Athens. I'm stupid. Carthage is going to be commanded by Ariovistus, who, like I said, is the person who sent this battle in. Right next to Carthage, we've got Swaby, and Swaby is being commanded by Lolly. And finally, as Egypt over in this corner, or half of, this corner, I guess, is Fork Knife. Fork Knife. Yeah. Now attacking, we have got Seleucid. Seleucid is being commanded by Rimst 1. That is RMST 1. I don't know how else to say it, so that's how I said it. We have another Egypt, and this one is being commanded by Gissa to the Win, I guess. And we've got a Lusitani. Lusitani is one of my favorites, being commanded by Hannibal Barca. I wonder why, and then finally we've got Boii, and Boii is commanded by Assassin. First thing I kind of noticed from the attackers, a lot of artillery. I think we've got like 3 units of movable ballistas. So 1 Celtic ballista, we have 1 fixed giant ballista, then we've got a Greek ballista and a Greek ballista. So a lot of artillery from the attackers. We've got some cavalry here by Seleucid, 2 units of median cav. Brought 4 units of the Syrian heavy archers, royal peltis, thorax swords. So lots of thorax swords. And then we got some carrying axemen from Egypt, Galatian swords, bunch of Galatian swords from Egypt, and royal peltis, thorax pikes, Galatian swords. So 2 royal peltis and 3 Cretan archers. Lusitani. Let's see. Lusitani has got Lusitani swords women. So 2 units of those, 3, 4. So 3 units of those, 4 units of those, a couple of veteran shield warriors, 2 Lusitani nobles, got some Scutari cav, more veteran shield warriors, and then looks like Iberian slingers. And Boii has got a bunch of Celtic warriors on his siege equipment, which is a good idea. Cheap units to move the siege equipment up. Because otherwise, like, if you put, like, Oathsworn on this tower, I, as a, defender, am using my arty to go right for that tower, because that is just free kills. And then got some noble horse, 1 heavy horse, bunch of Celtic bows, and then, yeah, tons of sword followers. You bring any Oathsworn? I don't think that they brought any Oathsworn for Boii. Defenders, Swaby here has got Spear Wall, Club Levy, more Spear Wall and Club Levy, Swordmasters, a lot of Spear Walls and Club Levy for Swaby. Got the Longbow Hunters. The downside to them is they only have 125 range, but they do have, I believe they have Snipe and Stalk. So Carthage, mercenary Cretan archers, late Libyan hoplites, Samnite warriors, lots of hoplites. Look at that, looking great. We are using the Ancient Empires mod again. We've got some hoplites here from Athens, and oh man, don't do this, guys. So this here, you could see, is a, it's where you basically take your stakes and you layer like three layers of stakes on top of each other. I wouldn't suggest doing it. Really, the main reason is because even your own units moving through it will get you'll get guys stuck in it, and they won't be able to get through it. Thorax swords, some regular archers from Athens, interesting. Lots of thorax swords from Athens. Thuros hoplites. I personally would have brought the Thuros spears, not the Thuros hoplites. Javies are very, very important in this game. Units that don't have Javies typically are pretty underpowered. They usually will lose to units that do have Javies, and Thuros spears have more Javies than most like regular infantry units do. And so Thorax hoplites, it's a hoplite unit. They don't get Javies, so really all they're good at is holding. More archers, more militia, some more hoplites, militia hoplites, thorax swords. Then Egypt over here, thorax swords, lots of thorax swords. Yep, tons of here's some Thuros spears. Here's the guys I was just talking about. Nubian bows, and then he's got 2 more Nubian bows up here. Swaby has some riders of the hunt here, and then Egypt has some of his royal thorax swords and his gen up at the keep. So we're going to go ahead and hit start. I did see some artillery from the defenders already flying out, and I'm kind of surprised. If I was the defender, you've got great shots to go right here, and that's yeah, there we go. Got big clumps of the archers here. What I typically try to suggest players to do, draw your lines out as thin as you possibly can, because then they can't bowling ball their, basically roll their shots through your troops. See, he's fixing it now. Even the cav here is a pretty good target. Oh, getting the Royal Peltis. Look at that. And he's still staying clumped up. I would, once again, draw these units out, because honestly, he's still vulnerable to shots. If the defender wanted, he could still get shots onto these archers. Same thing here, there's really good opportunities that could have been done here. I mean, I guess Egypt doesn't have a great angle, but I mean, there are shots. Look at this. Like, if he got a shot right down this line of Royal Peltis, that would be so painful. I think of all the attackers, Boei probably did the best job of getting his units kind of in a straight, long, drawn-out formation to minimize as many casualties as possible. A lot of these troops are very clumped up. That's just something that I would suggest, and in the end, I just come into the videos. I want to try and, help get people better. If they're doing something that I think is probably not the greatest thing they should do, I try to suggest, other ways of doing it. And obviously, tactics are, they can be relative. Tactics are relative to the situation, so. But Boei is coming in real hard. He's got a Celtic bow, or a Celtic warrior, coming right in on this Bastion Ballista, which is not a bad idea. Get on the wall, silence the Ballista, shut it up. So something you can actually do, if you're not wanting to waste a unit, because, if you put this unit up here, yes, it'll destroy that Ballista. Good chances are you're going to lose the unit, though. If you click out here right after this drawbridge drops, your units will not go onto the wall. They will actually just leave. They will climb off the tower and walk away instead of getting onto the wall. But what you can actually do is if you let a couple men from the unit get on the wall to attack the ballista, and then click the unit away from the tower, those couple units will be trapped on the wall, and unfortunately they will die, but hopefully they will destroy the ballista first. But the rest of the unit will actually leave the tower, kind of. It's kind of hard to explain, but you can sacrifice a couple men onto the wall while not sacrificing the entire unit just to destroy the ballista. So same thing here, like you could just, like right now, Lusitani could click right now, and the rest of this unit, instead of climbing up, would walk away instead of getting all the way onto this like they are now. Because now this unit is up here, and honestly is very, very, very exposed. You know, Carthage could do a lot of damage to this sword women unit if he wanted to. Got a tortoise coming in on these, on the wall here. This wall right here is a really good place you want to go. Like this kind of wall is what I mean. Those corner walls will typically make a much larger breach than, say, if you were to go like right here. It just makes it a much larger breach for you to go through. It means it's a lot more area, surface area, that the defenders have to hold. So we've got, I believe, Galatian swords on the wall, with a thorax swords from Athen coming up to support, and then Athenian archers shooting onto the walls from the ground. We also have Athenian archers shooting into the breach there. Good idea, because these Galatian swords are up on that raised section and very, very exposed to the archer fire. Got more Egyptian Galatian swords up here on the wall, coming over here to take out the ballista. And then we got more reinforcements coming from the side here. Got a breach in this wall. Looks like they're going to set up a kill box with some thorax swords. You know, as the units come through here, they will get basically boxed in, but also get javi volleys from two different sides. Oh, no. So they had set a unit onto the wall here, and the unit came down off the wall. I don't really get the stakes here. I mean, I guess technically you can tortoise this wall right here. So if they tortoise the wall, then yes, this would be relevant. But really, the stakes aren't going to do anything up against these doors. Because stakes are really only useful against cavalry, unless you do stuff like this, which I will tell you. See, there it is. See, one of the hoplites is stuck in there. That's just something I do typically try to suggest. You know, most like players, especially like, you know, most players, especially in like Apollo's Discord or things like that, they really, really don't like stuff like this because it can be pretty cheesy. So I would suggest just being careful about that. Using stakes is no issue, but layering, you know, 2 or 3 different stakes on top of each other like that is just really annoying. And it's annoying to both sides. I'll be honest with you, if somebody did it on my own team, I would be upset with it just because it limits my ability to move. Carthage also brought the Numidian Noble Cav. I really like this. I've seen this Cav do really well. You know, Carthage can only bring the 3 Cretans, so their 4th range unit is the Noble Cav. So a good choice, I personally think. Now we got Boii coming on the wall with the Celtic Warriors, but Swaby's got his club levy up here. Same thing, you know, did the stakes right up against the doors here, and I just don't really get that. They're not very useful against infantry. They're really only useful against cavalry. Now, if they were to set them, like, along these walls, I don't see an issue with that, because once the wall goes down, now you have stakes, you know, in the way of the breach. Most attackers will not destroy these walls, because it removes their ability to, if they drop their tower here, now they have no way to get off this wall. And honestly, once this is destroyed, this tower would be useless. If there is no way off of the wall, you cannot put units on this wall anymore. The game won't let you. So it's one of those things that most attackers won't even destroy these. So it just typically isn't very useful to put, like, stakes there. Or, you know, if you put caltrops there, it wouldn't really make sense. Libyan infantry going up against these veteran shield warriors. The veteran shield warriors will get the better out of the... Well, wait. Okay, that's a swordsman. Sorry. This is a veteran shield warrior. The shield warrior will beat the Libyan infantry one-on-one. So, unless Carthage has some sort of, like... If they were shooting into it, I could see that winning. Or the Libyan infantry winning. But now with the Libyan hoplites coming in, that'll definitely help. Yeah, I've got the Libyan hoplites coming in to shore up this defense, which is good because it was getting very, very thin. Then we got a Libyan infantry. It looks like it's getting shot pretty hard. And now we've got the Lusitani swordswomen and veteran shield warriors coming off of the wall into the Libyan hoplites. I think at this point what I would probably do in this spot, I think I would probably set up a triangle, just because right now you got one hoplite going up against a unit, but it's not getting a lot of like contact. So if you were to set up a triangle here, I think it would probably be a little better of a formation against this. If you only have one unit, obviously you can only use, like, you can do with that. But now that we have the second unit coming in, I would adjust that formation. Good push coming in from Egypt here. I'm not exactly, so Egypt was able to get both of his thorax pikes in from where? So interesting. So yeah, I guess Egypt was able to get his thorax pikes in here before Athens could stop him. So they've got a big issue on this side of the wall. Egypt has a pretty clear way into this settlement. Honestly, if Egypt were to take his royal peltis and put it right into that right there, this line would break easy. Got to be careful with the pikes here. They are going a little wonky. Pikes can be very glitchy sometimes in this game, so you got to be very conscientious of how you're messing with them, because depending on the attack order you give, they can do very weird things, and that honestly makes them very exposed. I think he was trying to get them out of like that position because they were about to get flanked by this thorax sword. So I think he was just trying to get them out of that awkward position they were in. Big push by Seleucid. Got both royal peltis in combat, really surrounding these thorax swords. I'm not gonna lie though, these royal peltis look so cool. I really, really like this mod. See if we can get a good picture here. But really good archer fire as well. That's the big downside. The royal peltis are very susceptible to archer fire, so you got to be careful with them. These archers are getting very good shots, but I mean, Seleucid's making great progress. Got three units here? Yep, 3 units of royal peltis doing a great job, but they are pretty beat up. Got 102 kills, 130 kills, and 55 kills, but they're all pretty hurt. 112. So this guy's not lost. He's only lost 11. This guy's lost 100, and this guy's lost almost 60. So Boii and Lusitani are now on this wall. Is Swaby? Yeah, I think Swaby is moving. Might be moving units on, but oh man, Carthage's shots onto this wall are just beautiful. They are so exposed on that wall right there. Yeah, Lusitani doesn't seem to be making too great a progress over here. Carthage has been doing a really good job of defending this, using his hoplites as well as he possibly can here. They're not getting great kills, but they're preventing Lusitani from being able to do much else. Got artillery fire coming in, I think, from Lusitani. Where is his art? Right over here. Yeah, he's probably firing right over this wall here. Oh, and there's Swaby's artillery. Bowii's artillery coming in on Swaby. Great angle. It's a really good positioning by Boii, putting that artillery just to shoot right down the corridor of this wall. That's going to make it really tough for Swaby to hold this. Also, Swaby's getting fired down on by these Celtic warrior Javies, just in here shooting right into the spear wall. I almost wonder if maybe Athens at this point should maybe bring up a hoplite to help on that spot rather than the spear wall. A little bit better, armor. So they have completely lost this side here. The defenders are pulling back across this bridge, pulling back beyond the stakes here. They didn't quite get, so their deployables did stop the cav charge here, but his archers are getting caught up. But Seleucid needs to be careful. Oh, don't do it, Seleucid! Oh no, Carthage! Oh. So Carthage just ran his cavalry right through his own allies. Whatchamacallit, the caltrops here. Oh, that's painful. Oh, and he's going to go back not only over to Oh, Carthage. Big boo-boo, man. Big boo-boo. So these stakes are now pretty much just gone. So there are some stakes left here and a couple caltrops left, but now most of it is completely gone. And Seleucid still has his cavalry left. Seleucid and Egypt over here are looking pretty darn good. So it looks to me like this side is going very well for the defenders, but this side has gone very well for the attackers. So if the attackers plan this and time this well, it could be really tough for the defenders to hold this. But great positioning by the attackers' artillery there, and getting some really good shots from all positions here. Now I think the attackers are going to try and probably bring their arty through these breaches. Start to get some pummeling fire on these defenses, and that's going to be even tougher for the defenders then. Now, Swaby has brought his cavalry out here along the edge, sitting here waiting. I think he's waiting to see if he can get into Boii, and he might be able to. Even right now, Boii is very exposed. He does have his noble horse, and he does have heavy horse, and it is risky. But no, he misses opportunity now. I think Boii is going to start moving his archers, so I think I don't know. I don't think it's a opportunity that's going to be viable anymore. I think if he wanted to get that opportunity, it was right then and there. Yeah, because now we got archers moving up onto these walls. I would forewarn, going up onto these walls, the one thing you risk is your archers on this wall are very, very exposed to enemy archers from here. You have no protection there, so just keep that in mind. Make sure that you have a pretty good hold on the position you're in before you start putting archers on the wall. Swaby right now is free and clear to do this. Nobody's archers are anywhere nearby to prevent this. Oh, and look, here we go, Lusitani. So they are full pulling back. Carthage is pulling back now, and I think Swaby's starting to pull back now because Lusitani is about to come in and catch some of Swaby's units, and that is not good. I think Swaby needs to get one of these spear walls in to stop this cavalry, and then the rest of this needs to fall back at this point. Yep, there you go. So Lusitani's pulling his Scutari back, and oh, no, don't pursue. No, go away. Yes, there you go. Fall back. Now, I think even now Athens can also fall back. There's no real point to holding this. You're just going to get exposed to the side here. Javi fire, things like that. But it does look like Swaby's going to lose some units here. I guess they're going to try and pull through this little area here, which is a thing. It's weird. It's such an awkward thing right there. So what the defenders could do, Egypt could bring his archers onto this wall here. It would be even viable even if you had like slingers. And if they were to hold, like, here, or even if they just fell back and held here, the slingers and the archers from this wall just get really, really good archer control over that area. I think Egypt is going to, Athens is going to send some thorax swords to try and slow down. Although, at this point, I think you kind of hold on to as many units as you can. I think I would also be falling back from this side here. I don't think there's a reason to waste a unit over on this spot here. You could hold the bridge or something like that. So if you're going to use deployables, doing something like this is absolutely a viable tactic. They don't have anything stacked on top of each other. But what they did is they put the stakes first and then they put the stones behind it. The reason for that is if you put the stones in front of the stakes, then anything that charges into it is going to get slowed down before they hit the stakes. So this allows a full charge to go into those stakes if they want to, if they don't see it for whatever reason. while the stones behind the stakes will slow down anything that gets through them. So it's a very, very viable tactic. Once again, there are people out there that just hate deployables as a whole. Doing something like this is something I find perfectly and totally fine to do. The only issue I had was stuff like this, where it's you can tell that they're layered on top of each other like that, and like two stakes on top of each other. That is where that's where I personally run into an issue, just because it does that thing where it catches units in the stakes and then they can't move, and it's just really frustrating and annoying. Man, they just lost so much cavalry on both sides. Like, I really don't know why Seleucid brought his cavalry down this road into this mess, and then I don't really know why Carthage did it the other way. Here, I think what I would be, like I said earlier, I think Athens just really needs to fall back off of this. Even if Athens were to hold in that spot right there, I think it'd be fine. But look, you know, Boii is sitting here, and Boii could even adjust his unit a little further to the corner and get even better shots. But they're just getting, like, perfect angle shots down onto these hoplites for no reason, you know. And, like, another thing, there's nothing defending these hoplites' backs. If Lusitani wanted, they could come in and just surround it. You know, Carthage is putting, like, his Cretan archers up here, so he's doing what he should do, but he should really be telling Athens to pull his hoplites off there, because you're really just wasting men. It's been a really, I would say, a very solid attack by the attackers. I think really this side went very well until this side fell. Now look at this. Suebi actually took his cavalry around the other side instead. Where did the other unit go? Did he take them in over on this side? I don't think so. So I only saw one of the... What happened to the other Suebi cavalry? Oh, so he took it into the back. I don't like that move personally. Well, I guess, okay, so he did. Yes, he got the artillery. Okay, yes, great move. Never mind. Scratch what I said. I didn't see the artillery at first, so I believe Suebi got in and killed the Arty crew. No, he didn't kill it, but that's what he went for. So the Boii was able to get the Arty crew out, but I see what Suebi went for. He went for the artillery crew, and that is an absolute fine thing. He went for the kill of the most dangerous thing they had, which is this. And I think he's going to try and do the same thing over here. What is exposed? I mean, he's got archers very... Oh, man. Oh, no. Yep, so this is a tough decision. I'm going here, I think. But, man, this is also a juicy, juicy target. Oh, very good. Great move by Suebi. Great move by Suebi. He's going to lose the cav. You know, the Royal Peltas are going to come in and surround it. He will lose the cavalry. And Seleucid is going to get some of his archers out, but he's getting kills on these archers. And now he's going to go finish off the artillery. Very, very well done by Egypt here. By Suebi here. Sorry about that. But I do think, so in this situation, as you're controlling the riders here, make sure that you're continuing, every once in a while, make an attack order on this to make sure that your unit is, basically, it is prioritizing this unit, not fighting the other ones. Otherwise, like, your unit's going to basically start fighting the other guys instead of doing what it was there to do. So yeah, just every once in a while, right-click the unit you wanted to attack, just to make sure that your unit is prioritizing that, not the other units that came in and attacked it. Alright, so I think what we've got is a little bit of a setup phase here. Got some units coming in from Boii. They're finishing off the hoplite unit. And now Carthage is going to send a Samnite warrior, I'm assuming just to slow them down? Either that, or maybe he sent it there but prior to this to support the hoplite, but it's going to get there too late, maybe? Yeah, it could be that he's just using a small unit to slow them down. Oh no, the pikes. Oh. So these pikes just got annihilated by the slingers. I think that was just probably he probably just forgot about them. You know, he was microing something else and accidentally left the pikes there. At that point, like, I would have tried to pull those pikes back, get them out of that slinger fire, because this is a great angle for these slingers. They can get a lot of shots here. The one concern I have is the angle here. Their range is not, they're not quite in range of that wall yet. You know, the Carthaginian archers' range is about right there. So the slingers can sit here. They can shoot it right into this formation right here, which is hoplites and pikes. Oh, and here comes the arty shots into the defenses. This can be very tough for the defenders because of that arty. That arty's going to make it very hard to hold choke points. Even if you don't do what's called shotgunning, which is where you set a unit like an arty like right here and shoot into the defense. Even what they're doing right now makes it very hard to just leave your unit in one spot. And then I believe, okay, so this is just a lot of Iberian slingers just shooting right into this formation. Are the pikes really taking, they're not taking too much. These hoplites are soaking up a lot of this. This situation right here became a little bit of a hot issue in the Apollo tourney. This is what's called stacking on pikes. You've got your hoplites on top of your, or you know, like 3 units all stacked on top of each other, basically to protect the pikes. And this became a very hot issue in the Apollo tourney, where we decided to basically make it where you could only stack on top of pikes if the pike wasn't in their hands. So, like, in the tourney, this would be illegal. I really like that with the Ancient Empires mod. I love the shields, man. Like, they make the hoplites look so great. I believe... So I think this is... I'm not sure what the slingers are doing here. Carthage could do a lot of damage to these slingers right now. Because I doubt these slingers are out of ammo. You know, they've only got 66 kills. They probably have at least half ammo left, if not more than that. And now looks like Egypt and Seleucia are going to push this angle, while Lusitania and Boii push this one. This is a very tough place to push because of this right here. Anytime you go here or here, the archer fire that can be brought in from these walls is just disgusting. Oh, but look at the cavalry coming in and getting the Iberian slingers. Now the Iberian slingers, they probably have about a quarter ammo left. That's big. That is very, very painful right there. You just lost a big unit for Lusitani, so very well done by Carthage. His Jin has lost 6, and then his Noble Cav has got 143 kills. Nicely done there. Lusitani saw it the last second, and he tried to send a unit in to protect the slingers and didn't make... I think he was trying to maybe get the slingers behind the stakes. I'm not sure. But it really wouldn't have changed anything just because those stakes are facing the wrong direction. That was painful. That was a really good move there by the defenders. Yeah, I think what the attackers here are waiting for is this push over here. Basically allowing Egypt and Seleucia to push this bridge to basically bring as many troops this way as they possibly can, so that this attack can start pushing into here. But it's still going to be very tough, just because of this right here. Got, what, 3 archers up here now? 4, including the one down here. Carthage needs to be careful. He needs to make sure he doesn't overextend this cav. He needs to... If he loses a gen, that is a big deal. They still do have a pike from, I think it's Egypt. I mean, Athens. God, I was just thinking of it. And then got a lot of hoplites here from Athens. I will say that is kind of like the really only thing that Athens brings to the table is hoplites. Celtic warriors coming in against the Gen and the noble horse, but like The archer fire here's... I think the riskiest thing here is just the chance of the gen losing. Now, that was a little bit of a pull through there by Carthage. He was in combat, stuck in combat, and he pulled... Like, had he pulled away from him, I wouldn't have seen an issue, but he pulled through these units. I mean, I wasn't in this game, so in the end, like, I can't delegate the rules in a game I wasn't in, so, like, you know, that's fine. But I think he was scared he was going to lose that gen. And he's going to go back in, like, he's not getting out of there. He's going to just keep moving this gen in and out. You know, going into combat with the heavy horse, and Boii did not countercharge, so that hurts Boii more than it hurts Carthage. Yeah, he's just trying to keep his gen moving. He needs to be very careful right now, though. Oh, be careful. Don't do it. He's so... Oh. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Be careful, just because he ran right back into those stakes. Got to be a little more aware of where those stakes are. Yep, and there goes the gen, and the noble horse is gone as well. You know, and that's relatively big for Carthage, because Carthage still has a pike left, still has Samnite warriors, still has Libyan infantry, and still has archers up here. So losing that gen is actually really big for him. And I believe, like, his gen is officially dead. I do not believe it, like, I don't believe that is his gen right there. Well, yeah, and it's gone. Yeah, so Carthage's gen is gone. I believe, let's see, so Egypt still has his gen. Both Suabia and Athens have their gens, and I believe all the attackers' gens are still alive. Where's Seleucid's gen? Seleucid might have lost his. Yep, I think Seleucid has lost his gen. But Egypt still has his. Look at these guys, the Royal Thorax Swords. Oh, dude, they look so awesome. The blue shields with the eagle on them. And then look at those blue helmets. That is fantastic. A lot of great archer fire coming from Seleucid here. So they tried to push an angle here off the side, but it looks like the Egyptians were able to stop that. This is going to be really tough for the attackers, because these are really good. These Royal Thorax Swords are very good. And these attacking units here are pretty hurt. You know, the Royal Peltis, I believe one-on-one they lose anyways. So especially with them being damaged the way they are, it's just not a good fight here. Like, they don't have much of a choice, but it's not a great matchup at this point. Let's see if I can get a good screenshot here between the Thorax Swords and the... So that's going to be really tough for the attackers, because these Royal Thorax Swords are going to get some really good kills here. I believe the attacking Egypt's gen is dead. So we have a lot of, and I mean, look, the defending Egypt still has his gen, which is a Royal Thorax left. It's gonna be tough. You know, both Seleucid and the attacking Egypt have lost their gens. They can't pull back to this keep, because the victory point is right there in the center. So it's going to be interesting. Balance of Power says that the attackers have the advantage at this point. But, man, I don't know. Losing some of this stuff over here is going to be very, very rough. These Royal Thorax Swords are going to do a number, especially if they win here. They are going to be able to wrap around and get into this. And these Veteran Shield Warriors are not going to be able to stand up to the Royal Thorax. So what they could do as the defenders, they could come in here, use the spear wall to defend the bridge against the Cav, and really just wrap into the archers, wrap through Lusitani, and eventually get into here. I would, and then at this point, I think I would activate my Egyptian gen to come in with them. Yep, it looks like that's what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to set up here, but it does look like they're going to try and push into this. It's a good idea. Like, these Royal Thorax swords will do a number on these. They just, like, if these were Lusitani nobles, I believe they would beat the Royal Thorax, but it's just veteran shield warriors. Now, they are tired. Now, what about Lusitani? Active, active, and active. And a lot of archers that still have ammo, so Egypt needs to be careful. He almost ran right into combat there. They've got some units that they could really activate to finish this side. If they could finish this side, they can concentrate their entire attention onto this. So it'll be interesting. We'll see how they plan this. Swordmasters going to attack into the archers. Although I think really what I would do if I was Swaby, I would have brought those Swordmasters and come in and pincered. You know, Swordmasters from one area and Royal Thorax from the other. Good move. I think he's going to try and grease through this area. Probably try and get into the archers in the background. I think he got caught, though. There we go. Swordmaster is returning, I think. Yeah, I think he's going to come right into the back here. But he needs to be careful because Bowie Eye's got Cav. Yep, he's going to come down this way with his cavalry. And he's also getting shot by Balearic Slingers. So got to be careful there. I think that's a smart move. I think he kind of realized that it really wasn't worth going into the back there. You know, these Swordmasters still have kills left in them. Yeah, pull back behind the hoplites. There you go. Pull back behind the hoplites before he got charged by the heavy horse, so the hoplites can take the brunt here. Did get a good charge on the hoplites, but in the end, the hoplites will win that against the cavalry. Really big push here. Got the, I think, a combination of sword followers and naked warriors. Yep, so sword followers and naked warriors coming in against mercenary Samnite warriors. Samnite warriors are going to hold for a long time. They've got that 95 armor, but they don't kill a lot usually. Libyan infantry. I think this Libyan infantry, personally, I think is a little exposed. I probably would have kept it probably a little closer to this defense of the pikes and hoplites. But these guys are starting to break, and like that was the downside of Carthage losing his gen. Is just that, you know, those units that he did have left, they were so badly hurt in morale. Still got arty fire coming in from the attackers. That is probably the hardest part for the attackers. Is these arty is really just going to hurt quite a bit. Something I would suggest here, Egypt has, you could tell, is using formation attack here because these guys are fighting, but like the rest of the unit isn't. I would remove formation attack so it allows the rest of your unit to fully engage here. And here comes the Egyptian general. I will say the attackers are getting great shots on the Royal Thorax swords, but look at this, 191, 218 kills. But the big issue they're going to have is right here, the Lusitani nobles. But good job by Egypt. He's got one of his Nubian bows, and he is focusing fire on those nobles. That's his best bet. That is his best use against these nobles as archers. Because these Royal Thorax swords, one-on-one, will lose. But with the three of them, he's also going to lose. So he's going to pull off of that. I think that's a good idea. I think he made the smart move there. Nothing pushing his flank, so he could fully engage here. And he's going to take one of his units and get through the edge here. I don't know if he's going to try and engage or if he will loop around. Oh, Swaby's got a berserker back here that he hasn't, that he's engaged, but I think it got shot, and so he pulled it out. So because it's only got 4 kills and has lost 9 men. Yeah, so Lusitani's going to lose one of his veteran shields, and then they're going to be able to, Egypt's going to be able to push this. Very interesting. So Swordmaster's engaging from Swaby. This is the point where Egypt really needs to get in. Because the Swordmasters they're not going to hold against those Lusitani nobles. Egypt really needs to get into the back end here. Oh, the arty fire coming in on the gen, coming in on the Royal Thorax swords. He needs to get this other thorax sword moving, though. I really wish... I don't know... He may not have taken second wind, but I really wish he had... If he had second wind, he needed to second wind either this guy or this guy. But he's going to lose... He's going to lose these Royal Thorax swords here in a sec. Oh, the slinger fire coming in. Just annihilating these guys. Oh... I think that's going to be it for these Royal Thorax swords. Just, you know, they're very, very, very depleted, and now they're getting hit by the nobles. I think that's going to be it for them. The nobles here have taken quite a beating. So now we got a combination of the sword masters and the hoplites going against the nobles, and the nobles are losing. Honestly, probably more from like archer fire than from this actual combat. And it looks like Egypt wrapped his unit around the side here. I'm going to be honest, at this point, it's not looking great for the defenders. They're just running low on troops. The attackers seem to have quite a bit left, especially when it comes to archers, slingers. They still have some of their artillery. Some of this stuff has not gone well. Like, this line is very, very thin. They've got a pike and a hoplite here. And then I believe, yeah, same thing, pike, hoplite over there. But now the attackers can really just sit back and fire it straight into that. Now the Royal Thorax swords are getting into the slingers. The Lusitani nobles trying to chase them down. So this Lusitani noble over here is in a lot of trouble because now we've got the Swordmaster and the Gen for Egypt in this combat here. That's a tough situation for those nobles, but they are up to 105 kills. And then it looks like the other Royal Thorax sword ran. Honestly, I don't even think... Yeah, so it is run. I was about to say, I don't think any of them got away. But they have completely shattered. And at this point, I think if I'm Lusitani, I'm pulling back these nobles and just laying into this with my slingers. And here goes the line, just getting wiped out by archer fire from Boii. The Celtic bows from Boii are not a fantastic archer, but if there's nothing there to counter you, then there's nothing to stop you from using them. And then I think Lusitani... No, these guys are out of ammo. Are they? 71 kills and they're out of ammo? Because they got their swords out, but I mean, they could be in melee combat. I'm not sure. So he's firing into the combat here, but he's got kind of a bad angle just because of, you know, his units in the way. So once again, I think that's where I would just move these nobles out of the combat so that my slingers could fire without any issue. Egypt's going to pull his Royal Thorax sword out just because he's exhausted. And honestly, probably to go contest the point because that is not looking good. Got the Berserkers from Swaby going in, but oh, the archer fire coming in on the Berserkers is just painful. So it looks like Swaby, somebody brought the Rally Gen. I'm not sure if anybody brought the Second Wind Gen. It doesn't hurt to maybe as a team kind of separate out who brings what. But I do say most players that I know of do bring the Second Wind Gen just because of how effective how much of an impact it is when your guys get exhausted. So Frenzy and Headhunt on the Berserkers, they're going to start getting some kills here. But with that archer fire, they're probably not going to last long, especially with the Egyptian archers probably going to start focusing on them. Now Egypt is, I think, probably waiting to see which side is going to need him the most. There he goes. He's gotten the command. He's going to go into this combat here. Wait, I thought... Wow, I completely blew that. I thought... Oh, that's Athens Gen. Athens Gen. Where's Egypt's Gen? There we go. Egypt, I don't know why he's pulling back here. That doesn't matter. So Egypt should have left his guy, should have taken his guys over here. I apologize about that, guys. Egypt and Athens banners are so freaking similar. It's ridiculous. And Athens brought the Thorax Hoplite Gen, which shield-wise looks pretty similar. And he used the fireballs, and a couple of them did okay. Like, he did pretty good with some of them. Like, he got kills, but I think the point is more important than these fireballs were. So now he's going to rush, try and get to the point, or try and cut this off. The Thorax Hoplites from Athens are getting surrounded by the sword followers. Got a hoplite coming in, and now Egypt's Gen is basically cut off, stuck over on this side of the on this stairwell pretty much, and can't get to the point. So now, like, I think that's, I'm just going to call it, that is going to be it. That is, you know, there's a couple minutes left in the game, but there's nothing that the attack or the defenders can do at this point. They've got a couple units left here, but they're getting surrounded. One of their units is completely stuck on this side, so unfortunately, I do think that's going to be it. So I think we can probably just go ahead and hit fast forward. You know, the Lusitani nobles are going to come in and surround the hoplites here. You just watch the numbers drop. Yeah, Lusitani nobles up to 74 kills now. There goes the hoplites. So really, all that's left now is this unit right here, trying to eat his way through these archers. Yeah, that's. So really, it's just going to come down to defeating the Royal Thorax Sword here. He's going to get a lot of kills before he dies, but, you know, that's all he can do. Right as of right now, the attackers are capping the point. I believe at this point it is fully capped. So it really is just going to come down to, you know, it's just, they're just waiting to lose. Now that was a pretty big pull through right there. He just pulled through like a bunch of units right there. You know, once again, he's eating up a lot of kills, but a lot of it's just trash troops. You know, these slingers putting in there to basically just to slow it down. Now we put a command order here. I think, just probably to get the, yep. So now it's the Lusitani Noble versus the Royal Thorax Sword. The Thorax Sword's got about 30 more men, so he'll win that. But now with the Sword Followers coming in, yeah, there goes the break. And that is going to be it. 194 kills left, you know, that he got on that Royal Thorax, so not terrible. You know, there was a lot of stuff that happened in that battle, a lot of ups and downs, some things I would suggest not doing personally. But overall, it was a very, very good battle. I really liked this push over here. It made it very interesting because I really think it gave the defenders an interesting opportunity to turn that battle around. And it just didn't go that way, and that's fine. I thought it was a very fun battle. So let's go look at the kills. So Goose as Athens got 1,400 kills. Athens it's not a big killer. You know, it's a lot of hoplites, doesn't typically get a ton of kills. 175 kills on one archer. The others did right under 100. Hoplites, none of them quite hit 100, so they did okay. Once again, they're there to hold, not there to kill. Thorax Swords did pretty well. 150, 173, 173, 149. Ariovistus with 1,539 kills, 182 on his Noble Cav. His archers did great, 158, 159, and 160. Once again, the hoplites didn't do a whole lot, but they're not really there to kill. 109 on the Libyan infantry and 166 on the Samnite warrior. Fork Knife as Egypt, 194 on the Gen. His archers did pretty solid, 142 on that one. His other two Royal Thorax did great. 270 or 258 and 257. And then his Thorax didn't quite do as good as I think he wanted them to do, unfortunately. 80 kills on the Thorough Spear, that was pretty good by itself. Then Lolly as Swaby with 813. I think that right there was the big thing that hurt the defenders, was that. I don't personally like this army of Swabies. A lot of spear wall. I think bring some more like Bloodsworn, and you can turn this into a pretty decent army. Replace all of this with Bloodsworn, and you've got an okay, like a pretty solid Swaby army. His Swordmasters did pretty solid with 130. Now, as the attackers, RMST1 as Seleucid did pretty decent. 180, 130 on the Royal Peltis. Thorax Swords 111. These guys, same thing as I said about Egypt. I think he probably wishes he did a little better with those Thorax Swords there. His archers did pretty decent, 83, 91. They got tagged pretty hard by that cavalry. That hurt them, you know. So Lusitani, 2,000 kills, very well done. 202, 219 on the Scutari Cav, 124 on the artillery. Slingers did pretty solid, 145, 118. Veteran Shield Warriors all did pretty well, 132, 162, 167. We've got an Assassin with 2,085 kills. Archers did pretty decent, 110, 98. The other two not so great. Celtic Warriors 127, 110, 115. Very well done there. 176 on that one. 239 on the Naked Warrior. 241 with the Sword Follower. 173 and 155. Then Gissa to the wind as Egypt to the win. 1,237 kills. 150 on the Gen. Archers did solid 116, 90, 89. 164 on the other Royal Peltis, and that's about it there. So that is it. Like I said, this is like my first time doing a subscriber battle of someone that I don't typically play with, and it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to go into this not really knowing anything about the battle. Um, you know, so this was very fun. I thank you so much to Ariovistus for sending this to me. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. You know, in these times, I want to let you guys know, we all got to stick together on this stuff and, work together to keep our heads up and, we get through this together, not separated. So, you know, I hope you guys enjoy these videos. I hope they give you some sort of something fun to watch in your free time while you're stuck at home or whatever it is, or, if you do have to go to work and need something to do and you're able to watch these, it's my pleasure to give it to you. So thank you so much for joining me. We just hit 430 subscribers today, and that is just fantastic. I can't thank you guys enough for it. So we will see you guys next time.